Welcome to the Modern Classrooms Project Podcast. Each week, we bring you discussions with educators on how they use blended, self-paced, and mastery-based learning to better serve their students. We believe teachers learn best from each other, so this is our way of lifting up the voices of leaders and innovators in our community. This is the Modern Classrooms Project Podcast.
Thank you, Zach, for that wonderful introduction. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Modern Classrooms Project Podcast. My name is Avery Balasbas, he, him pronouns, a partnership manager here at Modern Classrooms. And today we have a special episode for you featuring some of my old students who are now freshmen in college. Just before I have everyone introduce themselves, a little context for those of you that don't know me. You can hear more about my pedagogical and curricular practices on episode 139, Teacher and Learner Reflection Practices, where Tony Rose and I talk about the importance of reflection in the classroom for our students and ourselves as we advance through our teaching careers. So again, my name is Avery Balasbas. I was the former English department chair and an English teacher at Abraham Lincoln High School in the San Francisco Unified School District. I was also a DMCE and implementing the MCP model over the last few school years. And I was fortunate enough to have a cohort of students who were willing to experiment alongside me and help me become the teacher I am today. So everyone that's here, thank you for being here today and saying yes to the podcast. It's exciting to share a space with you all once again, because we used to do that every Thursday. So without further ado, we have a large group today comprised of what my students used to call themselves our little Thursday crew. So if you guys can introduce yourselves, name, pronoun, major, and school. We'll start off with Alex.
Hello, my name is Alex, or my full name Alexander Kai. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a first year data science major at University of California, Davis.
My name is Brandon. You can also call me Berger. My pronouns are he, him. I am an economics major at Community College of San Francisco, and I plan to transfer to UC Davis under managerial econ in 2 years from now.
Hi, my name is Eva. I go by she, her. I'm a statistics major at UC Davis right now.
Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm a freshman aerospace engineering major at Cal Poly Pomona, and I go by he, him.
Hi, my name is Julian Paradise. I am a studio arts major at City College in my first year, and I go by he, him.
Hi, my name is Kelly. I go by she, her pronouns. I am a first-year undergrad student at UC Davis majoring in environmental engineering.
Hi, my name is Matthew. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm a first-year statistics major, and I go to UC Davis.
My first class was also calculus, and the classroom was huge. It's literally our auditorium. I was like, oh, there's so many people, and it's really hot in here. The way that your class was structured, like how everything was like your own pace, I feel like it's also like that in college, because your class taught me to really hold myself accountable and like do my work before the due date. Even the professor wouldn't remind us though. So I feel like your class really helped me with that, just remembering to do my work and things like that.
I think time management again was a really big thing that I got out of your class, but I really wish that my professors would implement some sort of model that allows for students to go back and not rewatch the lectures, because every lecture is 2.5 hours long, but just to get the main points out of the lectures.
But I got more of the feeling from when I was in Modern Classroom in my color class. I got that feeling my teacher was very flexible. She was you can turn in the projects at any time you want, just make sure it's before the end of the semester, meaning you essentially had infinite time. And she's also was okay, you have to make sure to do the discussion posts, because once they're gone, you can't do them anymore. She was very flexible. She communicated well. That's one of the classes that I felt it was I was back in Modern Classroom. It's I didn't have to worry about too much, because I could just do anything at any time, and I didn't have to stress about all my different classes. Okay, I can focus on problem stat this day and then do art another day.
I was also in a huge calc lecture. There's always the options of like rewatching lectures, but it's not really the same because I feel like with professors, they kind of just introduce the new topics, and it's really up to you to kind of learn to master them either by doing the homework, which can be hard, and like some might go into detail, but that's about it. My chem professor, however, he has these like really, really old YouTube videos that would show you him walking through like the equations of what we were learning. And I feel like was sort of like modern classroom. Like you have the option of, it's kind of also your own personal choice to rewatch these videos that he has. And they were kind of helpful. But I think if more professors did that, I might have learned better and kind of just doing it their style.
Am I allowed to bring up the audio, the MP3 files and the reading stuff?
Oh, you mean, yeah, totally. That's definitely not like an MCP thing. That was like a me thing, but I incorporated it into, go ahead.
No, I think college professors definitely go really fast, and for some reason we were always behind all the way up until finals week. I don't know how much material we still had left, but yeah. I think, the option to pick between a video, an audio file, and like reading was really helpful, because sometimes sometimes I didn't want to sit through a video even though I could put it on 2x speed. Other times I just, I wanted to read, use my literate abilities for a bit. And I think the way that parents are seeing it, I get where they're coming from, but I think one thing that they're not really putting too much focus on is that if your kid isn't motivated, then they could just space out during the lectures. I think having those videos gives them an opportunity to eventually come back if they wanted to, do well in the class again. And I think that's just what it takes for some people to start going, hey, I need to pay attention in this class. I need to focus up.
I hate to say this to the parents who think that it's not real learning. Your kid is probably learning from OChem Tutor or Black Pen, Red Pen, whatever math YouTuber is out there. I've definitely watched them, and it's probably how I learned. But I agree with you guys saying how you can always go back and rewatch the videos. And if you're like in class and you're like, wow, I just can't learn today, and you have the option to rewatch it, it really helps. And you can always like ask the teacher if you're really stuck. It's not just like, oh, I only have these videos. No, like the teacher is still there. I also really liked what Jimmy brought up, you also read us the book. I used to listen to those while I did the dishes. So it's like if there was like an aha moment, it's like stop doing the dishes and like write that down.
I definitely can see both sides of like why some people would enjoy learning from video, and then some people like parents thinking that, learning from videos aren't real. But it's not like you went over the material in the video, so you were still teaching us anyway. But what I'm trying to get to is, I think for some people, it would be much better because, like me, you can go back and watch the video over and over and over again until you understand it, or until you might have missed something during the lecture. You have the video to go back to or something like that. Compared to, of course, the teacher teaches it once during class. If you don't get it or you're not paying attention or anything like that, you won't get the material, and then you have to email and do all this, bend your back over all that stuff. And then and then if you miss that or you miss a day, anything like that, you have to catch up. It's just, I do think there's a lot of positives from learning from videos, and especially, one of the things that you really put onto us at the start of the year was, sometimes you're not feeling it, having a bad day, having a lazy day, woke up late, had a bad test or anything like that. Sometimes you might not be wanting to pay attention in class. You might just want to chill and hang out. At the end of the week or later in the week, you can just watch the video when you're feeling it, and then, all is well.
There's a lot of different ways to learn, I think before any of us took this class, the common perception of teaching and learning was come to class on this certain time at this day, meet in this classroom, hear this teacher talk about this concept, here's your homework, or here's a worksheet to do while in class. And that's the repeated process throughout, and then maybe some days you get like a nice little video or documentary that you get to watch while answering questions. But with this class, it was something completely fresh and new. It was just really refreshing. It was the teacher saying, here's all these assignments that you can do. There's going to be assignments that are locked because I don't need to go too far ahead. But here's a bunch of these resources that I offer you. Do these certain assignments for an assignment like a reading, for the questionnaire or discussion that we have for the week, and keep progressing if you feel like it. It was just really interesting to learn through a video or learn through, I guess, as Kelly mentioned, and Jimmy, a podcast. Just being able to listen in instead of reading something was really new, and has helped me kind of translate that into like college. Sometimes, again, a lot of us mentioned our professors talk really fast, and sometimes we get lost in the shuffle because we don't understand one concept, and oh look, there's like 20 more other concepts that are now being introduced to us all at the same time. So being able to go back and just learn through a video or a podcast was something that was somewhat new, but I feel like that was something I continue to do past Modern Classroom. Something I still do today, for whether that's calculus, whether that's for any other class I take, like a science class, anything. I really enjoy just learning through different ways, and Modern Classroom obviously introduced that.
I kind of just had like this like realization is like learning like can be non-stressful, because again like throughout my history of classes, it's like it was like fine at first, but more like when I started high school, that's when things started to get more difficult. And then it's like it was reflecting in my work. It's like I think I produce good quality work. I'm just like, there's stacks upon stress that I worry about, school included, that like fundamentally like made like my education like kind of stressful itself. I feel like, again, like Modern Classroom presents like this like opportunity to just like not like lay back, just like chill for like a second, do the things that you need to do like in that for like MCP, and then you can also branch off to do other things like for your, obviously, your classes. It's like it relieves stress.
I think like what Alex said, definitely like not as test heavy, because right now this quarter for 2 of my classes, I have a test every Friday, and I think I'm losing hair because of it. I'm so stressed. But yeah, definitely not as test heavy, but also like going back to the videos. I think the videos are just so helpful. So yeah.
I think offering multiple forms of learning. So like I said earlier, having a video, but then also giving them the option to read or listen to an audiobook. I think giving students, multiple forms of taking in information would definitely be really helpful, and would, I think, encourage a lot more students to participate.
Again, like saying, as I said earlier, like I feel like kids, again, like don't be afraid to like communicate with your like students. Like I feel like communication is like really like good to have, like not only to just like get to know them, but also just for like to also like understand them.
For me, it would just be take the feedback. There's always room for improvement. It might not always work the first time. Just really listen to like what your students say, because it could definitely benefit other students. As for professors, I'm not sure I understand, like, especially with quarter system, it's really rushed and they're really just trying to like shove as much material. So I think like maybe multiple videos.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find links to topics and tools we discussed in our show notes for this episode. And remember, you can learn more about our work at www.modernclassrooms.org, and you can learn the essentials of our model through our free course at learn.modernclassrooms.org. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at modernclassproj, that's Proj. We are so appreciative of all you do for students and schools. Have a great week, and we'll be back next Sunday with another episode of the Modern Classrooms Project podcast.